Hello, my name is Shalini and I have done my Masters in History. Today we will be talking about Harappan civilization. Harappan civilization is one of the oldest civilizations of the world. It was contemporaneous with Mesopotamian civilization, the Greek civilization, as well as the Chinese civilization. And not to forget the mighty Egyptian civilization as well. The greatness of the Harappan civilization lies in the fact that in spite of being it was so old, in spite of being labeled as one of the oldest civilizations of the world, it was yet very modern. But this ironical fact is not a sad fact, it's a happy fact, and it's rather very inspirational for the next generation of we Indians. We should take so many inspirations from that great architecture, from their lifestyle, from their way of living, and it can serve as a better example not only to India but to the entire world. It can be taught and the greatness of Harappan civilization lies in the fact that it is not particularly limited only to the history students or the humanities students. It is actually quite an interdisciplinary topic, as it connects to the disciplines of civil engineering also, as it connects to the disciplines of architecture also, as it connects to the discipline of mathematics also, as it connects to the discipline of anthropology also. It fascinates all. Harappans were excellent civil engineers. Their sense of planning, their sense of locating the towns locating the towns on the basis of grid system, everything was far beyond exceptional. Now we will see at some of the salient features of Harappan civilization. The city was usually divided into two parts. The citadel as well as the lower town. The citadel, which means the elevated area from the land. In almost all the towns of the Harappan civilization, we see there all the cities were divided into two parts. And the cities were divided into two parts, namely citadel as well as the lower town. The most important of the bigger towns like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, as well as Dholavira. Dholavira, being on a different side, the city was divided into three parts, whereas Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, they were divided into two parts. What fascinates us even more, that when we see the town of Greece, the ancient Greeks built temples in the citadel area. The Egyptians also built temples in the citadel area. The Mesopotamians built ziggurat, Ziggurat. Ziggurat, it was also a pyramidical structured temple where the priest used to perform sacrificial ceremonies and other rituals and customs were done. So ziggurat was a product of Mesopotamia. So almost in every civilization we will see that the upper part of the city was reserved for the temple and religious purposes only. On the contrary, and on the opposite side, we see there lies in Harappan civilization, where in the citadel portion we have such amazing architectural geniuses like that of granaries, storehouses, warehouses. This is remarkably very different that we Indians, we Harappans were Indians only. We were so advanced back then that there was no such emphasis on temples or religious architectures or as that of palaces. It is very astounding that till now we haven't discovered any specific kind of fort which suggests that there was kingship over there or any huge temple. Yes, religion is very important for mankind. Religion was back then also very important for mankind. Religion cannot exist separately from a society. Religion is very much a fundamental part of society. I am not saying they were not religious. I am saying they were religious, but before being religious, they were pure business people. as they had trade links with Mesopotamia. Business people, and they did not believe in constructing huge huge edifices only for this purpose, huge edifices for the purpose of religion. They rather believed in storing grains, storing objects of the trade. And there are so many warehouses, and some of the archaeologists even suggest that the citadel area had many government buildings. So it suggests a very highly standardized form of architecture, as well as the makers of those buildings were indeed very genius. This fact is even the foundation of the theory that they were indeed religious, but the religion was not very predominant. In fact, this reads out one of the questions like they have asked 2 to 3 years ago, that Harappan civilization, although the religion being present, but it did not dominate the scene. Yes, it is absolutely true. This was a pre-question, and this is absolutely true. Yes, they were, but on the same hand, they were secular also. In fact, the question has stated the word secular. It means it is something very, secular is a very strong word. Okay, so they have said that though religion is present. How come we get to know that religion is present? First point, in many places of Harappan civilization, we have seen lingams. Harappa especially and Mohenjo-daro, we have seen many lingams have been excavated from that land. Lingam, as we all know as today as Shiva Lingam. Shiva is a very recent term, so Shiva Lingam, you shouldn't be using the word Shiva Lingam. You should rather use the word phallus, P-H-A-L-L-U-S. The Harappans were phallus worshippers. Phallus is simply the male sexual part as well as the female sexual part, composition of both, which is the Shivling. Okay, the Harappans were the phallus worshippers, or the Harappans believed in the worshipping of the linga. Don't use the word Shiva. Shiva is a very late term which has come after the post-Vedic age, and Harappan civilization predates even the Vedic age. So many lingams have been found in many sites of the Harappan civilization. So that suggests that indeed they used to worship gods as well as goddesses. Second point, we also see many people seals. The Harappans used seals, and people, as we all know, it is still sacred to the Hindus for various reasons. The real reason being very scientific, that it emanates oxygen even in the night, and it has immense health benefits. So hence it is holy for Indians. And yes, so the Harappans also worship the peepal tree. Also, we see a very unique seal where a man is sitting in a yogic posture, wearing 3-horned headgear and surrounded by animals from all sides. It is believed to be the Pashupati aspect of Lord Shiva. That is why it is called Pashupati Shiva. Remember guys, whenever you are mentioning Shiva, make sure you write prototype Shiva, or over here in this aspect you will write Pashupati seal. Simply write Pashupati seal. You cannot use the word only and only Shiva, because Shiva, the word Shiva is very recent. It has come recently, before 1700, 1800 years. It was not used in the times of Harappan civilization. What was he known back then, we still don't know. Archaeologists have suggested that this is a Pashupati aspect of Lord Shiva. Pashu means animals, Pati means master. Lord Shiva is known by this name also even today, that he is the master of animals. He is the master of ghosts, demons, animals, etc. He is the master of all basically. So the Pashupati aspect of Lord Shiva is highlighted. And this seal also highlights the another aspect that we came to know about the Harappans, that they were yoga. They were the believers of yoga, and they were the developers of the practice of yoga. Because in other seals also we see people sitting in, like men sitting in yogic postures. So it is said to have, this theory has been constructed that the Harappans believed in doing yoga also. Fourth point, we did people tree seal. We did the Pashupati seal. We saw they were the worshippers of Linga. We see many 10 to 11 centimeters tall, many idols of mother goddesses, what archaeologists call as mother goddess. They are terracotta figurines. What is terracotta? Terracotta is simply baked clay. There are many images of terracotta mother goddesses. Almost all the Harappan cities we have seen there are mother goddesses. In one of those mother goddesses statues, we see a plant is growing from the womb of the mother goddess, which suggests that the Harappans were the nature worshippers and the Harappans conceived nature as a female, which we even do it now. We always associate feminine gender with the nature, be it the entire nature, which includes rivers, trees, everything we associate is having a feminine gender, because female is the ultimate producer, although she cannot produce without the male, but female is the ultimate producer, and that gives the concept of Purusha and Prakriti. So Prakriti, the nature, has always been identified as mother as well as given a female form. So we will see a plenty of mother goddesses figurines that suggest that the Harappans worshipped both the male as well as the female deities. This is one of the another questions of the pre, that the Harappans believed in the worship of both male and female deities. Yes, absolutely true. They did worship both male and female deities. Male, as you can see some of the aspects of Lord Shiva, as well as female, because if you see the linga properly, it is not only the male sexual part, the female sexual part also lies. That is the yoni. So it is the ultimate fusion of the Purush and the Prakriti. The linga stands for that only, the nature as well as the man. So yes, indeed, the Harappans were the worshippers of both forms of energy. That is the Purush as well as the Prakriti, and both of them are interlinked and both of them are interdependent on each other. Although nature is somehow independent, but still mankind is completely dependent on nature. So such higher philosophies, if you go deeply into these philosophies, you will get very nice answers. This forms the basis of our Puranas and Upanishads and Granths and everything. But for the examination point of view, we need to know the basic things, that like whether they worshipped only the male gods or they worshipped the female gods also. They worshipped both. They worshipped nature. They worshipped nature in the form of women. So if these facts are clear, then only we can come to the conclusion. And for the examination point of view, again I am saying the facts need to be crystal clear in terms of religion, in terms of architecture, in terms of everything.